Well, the Fort Restaurant in historic Morrison is a picturesque and tasty trip through time. The Tesoro Cultural Center is part of the fort that continues to delight visitors with colorful art and exciting events, including the upcoming 18th annual 1840s Rendezvous and Spanish Colonial Market. I've got lots of folks here with me today. Today, we have Holly Arnold-Kinney. She's the executive director of Tesoro and the owner of the fort. We also have mountain man and historic interpreter William Gwaltney. And we have musician Rex Rideout and the fort executive chef Ian Stewart, who will be cooking some buffalo burgers and brats with red chili for us to taste today. And so great to see you all.
Great to see you, Jackie.
Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about really the relationship between the old fort and your fort, Bent's Old Fork and your fork, and really how the essence of this event gives us an idea of what it was like back in the 1840s.
Well, our fort, my father built in 1962, is an exact replica of Bent's Old Fort, which was a famous fur trading fort on the Santa Fe Trail. And so when you walk through the gates this weekend, you go back in time to the 1840s period, and you'll see a festival of music, dancing, mountain man encampments, and you'll learn more about that from Bill.
Yeah.
And wonderful food with buffalo, elk, quail. We have amazing Hispanic artists, because the cultures that were there were native people,
Sure.
as well as the Hispanic community, because it was on the border of Old Mexico. So this weekend is really a two-day festival celebrating with families the history as it was in the 1840s.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And this is the 18th annual
Yes,
Rendezvous. That's
yes.
really incredible. What can we expect then outside of everything you just mentioned?
Well, this year it will be better than ever before. We have amazing interpreters that are coming up from the National Park Service Bent's Old Fort. We have storytellers, a scavenger hunt for kids. We have a lot of music, a fandango dance. We have artists, and can I point out, this is San Pascual. He's the patron saint of chefs, of course, and this is actually from my collection at home. But the artist, Frank Garcia, will be at the fort selling his art. This is micaceous clay pottery. You can cook. These pots will be sold by Debbie Carrillo, and you can cook those over an open flame.
Oh,
and
wow.
Bean pots, soups, and then you bring it to the table, and it's a beautiful presentation
Sure.
to serve soup to your family or whatever. And then Charlie Carrillo, of course, whenever you lose something, you're praying to St. Anthony.
Yes, I do it often.
Well, that's Tony's Lost and Found, and there's St. Anthony in the truck, in his truck with all of his lost and found.
I love it.
And jewelry and lots of shopping and fun things for families and kids.
We love that. Little bit of everything, including food, Ian. We've got all kinds of things going on. You're gonna tell us what you're cooking today and what you'll be cooking this weekend.
Well, I have bison burgers and brats with red chili, and that's what we're demoing today. We also have our blonde brownie.
Ooh.
And for the concessions on market, in addition to these, we'll have pozole, enchilada suiza, and Frito pie.
All right. Oh, so again, you've got the red chili in here, and you're going to put it on the burgers. What's the difference between cooking buffalo meat and regular beef?
The buffalo is so much leaner, so it cooks a lot faster. We recommend cooking it no more than medium, so it stays juicy.
Okay. All right. Listen up, folks. The Rendezvous features several award-winning Spanish colonial artists. The Rendezvous encampments will be teaching the skills of life of the mountain men and pioneer women. It's really a fascinating event. If you've never experienced that, or you can bring your kids, which would be a lot of fun. You were talking about the art that's there, which is great. We see some of that. Pottery, jewelry.
Yeah.
What else?
And shopping.
And shopping.
And so, but I think William Gwaltney can tell you a lot more about the encampments.
I would love to hear more.
Well, sure, thank you. The objects I brought represent many of the skills that we'll be showing. There's going to be a wonderful shooting match with the flintlock rifle.
Wow.
It was used throughout the history of the fur trade, but not just old-time rifles, but even at old-time targets at old-time distances. So we've really gotten down into the weeds on this. You'll see people with different camps. There'll be Indian Sign Language. There'll be people making things. There'll be people showing how they lived. There'll be things for kids with a scavenger hunt, so they'll learn how to start a fire with flint and steel, for instance, how to make moccasins. All of these skills from the old days will be back, and with people who've come from a long distance to share what they've learned over 20, 30, some even 40 years.
Yeah, and it's really an incredible demonstration, but why do you think this encampment is important to teach history in this way?
Well, this speaks to a part of the West that is readily recognized but little known. When you think about it, at the time period we're talking about, Bent's Fort on the Arkansas River, if you had to go find a town, to go to the dentist, for instance, if you went east, the nearest town is Westport Landing, today's Kansas City. If you went west, it would be Los Angeles or San Francisco, small towns at the time. If you went south, it would be Taos or Santa Fe. If you went north, the nearest town is in Russia.
What? My goodness.
So this is not the West people think they know.
That's so true. So true. 1840s. Rex, you're going to be singing something from the 1840s. What are you going to be performing?
Well, this is a banjo that was built somewhere in the 1830s and 1840s. Today, when you think about an adventurer, someone that goes places that you cannot go, you think of the airline pilots, you think of astronauts. But at the time of this banjo, it was the boatman. The river boatman.
Okay.
Hey-yo, the boatman row, float down the river, the Ohio. Hey-yo, the boatman row, float down the river, the Ohio. The boatman dance, boatman sing, boatman up to everything. When the boatman gets on shore, he spends his cash and works for more. Dance, the boatman dance, oh, dance, the boatman dance. Dance all night till broad daylight, go home with the cows in the morning. That's the boatman dance.
That's the boatman dance on a musical instrument from the 1830s, 1840s.
Attack head banjo.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been terrific. We appreciate it. It's a weekend full of art, food, and spectacular sights, as you can see. The 1840s Rendezvous is Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Fort's Tesoro Cultural Center. Rex, we'd love it if you could play a little more while we tag out of this. Admission is just $5, and kids under 12 are free. So take the entire family this weekend. It's going to be beautiful. To buy tickets today, visit tesoroculturalcenter.org, or you can call the number on your screen. It's 303-839-1671. When Colorado and Company returns, sunny skies and crisp temperatures are every Coloradoan's cues to head to the hills. We are letting you know where to go to enjoy the fall colors this weekend. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Announcing Tesoro's 1840s Rendezvous and Spanish Colonial Market at the Fort. Meet trappers, traders, artists, and live eagles. Fun for families. September 14th and 15th, 10 to 4 both days. TesoroCulturalCenter.org.